Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Implausible Gaming, and today we're looking at Star Trucker and undertaking a truck tour and give you some quick hints on how to operate your truck. First of all, here's your airlock. Right now it's got access to the stations I've looked at, but if you go inside, have a look inside. First of all, when you're out there trucking live in game, if you come in here, close the truck, you can pull this will jettison you out into space. If you jettison yourself without wearing your spacesuit, you will actually die from asphyxiation and have to be rescued. Okay, here is your spacesuit, aforementioned spacesuit. Just click on that to put it on. Down on the left hand side there is your power. It tells you how much welding power you have to fix hull breaches. Down on the right is your oxygen. Oxygen is very important. This tells you how long that you have outside your truck to repair any breaches on the outside of your hull. It's also a great reservoir for if you run out of oxygen on your ship proper. The oxygen down on your left hand side there, that can help you get through emergency situations. If you're just a few kilometers from finishing your journey and you don't have time to swap out energy, or you don't have filters, it can be a little lifeline at the last moment. Up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 slots for air filters. These are very expensive but also very important components. So if you look here, the air filters, the purple indicator on the bottom there, that tells you how much life the air filter has left. If you have 4 air filters in place, they will run more efficiently per air filter than they would if you only have 1. So having 4, well, having 2, 3, 4 rather than just 1 is much more optimal than having just 1 running. So they are expensive. They're about $2,000 per unit, so I suggest where possible chuck more than 1 in there. And I think you start the game, you have a spare one, chuck it in one of the spare slots, and don't forget to close the slots when they're installed, because they can fall out in a crash. Over here we have your oxygen generator and environmental control. This is obviously, power here is very important. This creates oxygen throughout your ship, so if this runs out, your ship will stop recycling oxygen. Here's a circuit breaker for it. So every system in the game has a power cell and a circuit breaker. This is pretty simple. Just the blue dial on the bottom there tells you how much power each system has, and it will tick down over time. This is a circuit breaker, which is like any circuit breaker in real life. It's required to keep the energy going through the system. It has a little health sign, hit point register there, which if you have too many collisions, and one, it will deplete over time, and if you have too many collisions, that will burn out and the system will stop running. So we'll cover that in more detail in a moment. Here we have the core power hatch. So we have 1, 2 power units here. These is the general power of the ship. Runs your engine, runs the overriding thing. Without this, nothing will work. So you have to just make sure you have this topped up as much as possible over the course of your journey. This is your maglock power. So obviously another 2 slotter. This is key to connecting to 2 trailers and connecting to stations. So if you run out of power here, your trailer will fall off the back. So it's important that you have this running. Now obviously when you're connected to a station, you're receiving power from the station, so that's not gonna stop you from floating away if you run out of power, if you're low on power there. Unfortunately, here is your breaker panel, and each one of the systems that we're covering in the ship today has a breaker circuit on it. Now if I was to flick the breaker for the maglock control, that would turn off, and I would drift away from the station, which is not optimal, obviously. Now if we go back to looking at a UCC, this item, that burns out. Well, pulling that out will cause a power surge and trip its breaker on this panel, and has a chance of tripping all the breakers on the panel. So if you are going to swap out a UCC, which is a regular occurrence, which will be a regular occurrence, it pays to turn off the breaker, go up to the UCC, and then pull it out. Now, what else is down here? Underneath here, the gravity generator. Obviously, I can walk around my ship without flopping all over the place because gravity is running. If you run out of, if your UCC is compromised or your power runs out, things will float around the cabin, and you will float around the cabin, and it provides plenty of opportunity for things to be broken. Now, these are your storage racks, and you have these boxes and individual items which you put on the storage rack. We'll cover that in a minute. To complete our tour, this is your main control, obviously. Down here you have a number of switches. This is your cruise control, which you can activate here. It'll keep your ship going at a stable speed. These buttons here activate how fast, or you can dial up or dial down your cruise control. These are the exterior lights on your spaceship. These are the interior lights on your spaceship, which we'll talk about in a moment. And this is your drive assist. This will allow your ship to react, to basically have artificial drag on it. So if you stop accelerating, your ship will come to a stop, and it assists you while piloting your ship to turn it left and right like a big rig rather than a rock tumbling through space. There are advanced gameplay features, shall we say, associated with this, so you can turn this off and save some fuel, for instance. Here is your speed dial, here is your fuel dial, and here is your oxygen dial. If things are running nominally, this should always be full, because you will, I'll have a look here, if you have 4 filters running and you have power for your oxygen system, so I've got 31% power there, I've got to change it out soon. I have 3 filters running, one of them is running low, and I have a SCAP here. So long as all those things being true, this should always stay full, because I'm generating more, where is it? Basically I'm using 23 oxygen per hour, and I am using 23 oxygen per hour, but with this many filters running optimally, I'm generating 23 per hour, so it should always be full. If I have a hull leak, if this is running suboptimally, or if I run out of power, obviously you'll be outputting less and using more. So just be aware of. This is emergency air brake. This is basically pulling a handbrake in space. So be aware of that. It'll use oxygen if you use it. So be careful when doing so. This will diminish when you're pulling that. Right. You may have cottoned onto it. This is a multi-use monitor. It comes with it's a job there, but it tells you basically your power, your air filters, and the various cameras around the truck. This one over here is a docking camera, your truck status, your status of your core systems, which is reflected along here. So each one of these little red light buttons here is one of your core systems. You also have up here a red button that's not currently activated, which is a local debris field. So if you're traveling through a debris field, things are likely to hit your truck and cause hull breaches. This will light up. Over here, I believe it's the solar flare one, which I haven't encountered yet. It will light up if you're traveling through an area where there's high levels of solar flare radiation. We didn't talk about our heater here. So you have a heater and you have a blower. These power systems use power, so you can adjust their usage here. And just go through this, and again, external cameras. This tells you the integrity of your hull. If it reaches 0, you'll be rescued and put near a station. You'll lose your cargo and face fines, and also face fines for rescue, or face fees for your rescue. It'll also tell you how many hull if you have hull breaches and how many. Okay, this is your maglock handle. This is you basically press this button, and I won't do it right now because I'm docked to a station, but press this button to connect to a trailer or connect to a station when you're reversing. When you're in, you see the docking camera, you'll line up your reticle to the docking collar and click that when it says activate maglock. Up here is your radio. I've got music turned down right now, but this is your radio. It will play various types of music when you're traveling throughout the star system. This turns off your thrusters to save power. I wouldn't really recommend fiddling with that too much because it will affect your performance. Here is your jump handle. This is what you pull when you're lined up to a jump gate. So you can see one activated over there at Emerald Junction. We'll talk about that in a minute. We've got some shutters here, which are currently jammed, so we won't go into that. I've never actually had to use a choke. I assume that comes when you're turning off the thrusters. I'm not playing with my thrusters, so I think we'll just not fiddle with that right now. But essentially this is when you need to restart your engine after you turn it off. And here's your CBD radio, so you can grab the mic, and there are characters in game that you will talk to and give you dialogue options when you're running this. Right. I think that is everything. Okay, I think that about does it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful time trucking out there in the void. Thank you for staying. Please like and subscribe.